Hi, welcome to Bleav in Clemson Football with Levon Kirkland. I'm Will Vandervort. As you can see right now, Levon is running a little bit behind, but he will be along shortly to join us to talk all things Clemson football as we wrap up the first half of the season. So we're going to do some reviewing today of the Tigers' season to this point. We're also going to talk about and review last week's game against Wake Forest and look ahead to the season as well. We also going to have our Pick Six segment. Levon will also be talking about, his thoughts. So if you guys got any questions or anything, get that into Levon or me, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. You can we can read those questions on Twitter, on Facebook, on Facebook and on YouTube. So please get those questions to us. That's where we can see those as they come along into us. So we greatly appreciate that. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Apologize for missing last week. I had some personal issues that came up, and I had to take care of them. And so that's why we were unable to do the podcast last week. But we do appreciate you guys joining us today, and we appreciate the good folks at betonline.ag as they sponsor our broadcast each and every week here for Bleav in Clemson Football. Also want to say thank our sponsors, the Clemson Insider. For the most complete coverage of Clemson athletics and recruiting, you can go to the ClemsonInsider.com as they allow us to use the platform here over at the on the YouTube page and Facebook page, and so we appreciate it. So if you're on those two things, if you could just give us a little thumbs up, like there, and leave a comment, like I said, and questions. Levon will be along here shortly. He's running late. The Columbia traffic and all, you know how that can be sometimes. So he's going to make it. He's going to join us in a little bit. So I'm going to try to carry us until Levon gets here. So just bear with us a little bit on that. Just also want to say thanks to our other sponsor, which is Tip It Back Sports Grill in Greenville. You can go there to watch all your coverage of Clemson sports and also South Carolina if you want to, or college football in general. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL, the Sunday Ticket, all those things they got there. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. So we got a lot of things going on, like I said, and we're going to get into some things when Levon gets here. And like I said, we talked about our sponsors, and I want to give them a shout-out as we start off. And the first one, of course, the Clemson Insider, the most complete coverage of Clemson athletics and recruiting. Robert, appreciate Robert and his crew over there. I'm part of them as they allow us to use this platform each and every week whether it be on YouTube, Twitter, or on the Facebook page. We do appreciate that. Also want to go ahead and say thank you to Tip It Back Sports Grill. It's the place to be to watch all your college football action this season. Tip It Back Sports Grill is located at the Commons in Greenville. If you're wondering where that is, that's at 215 Pelham Road, Greenville, South Carolina. Tim Cinco and his crew there have it all going on when it comes to football, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college football, whether it's the ACC, the SEC, Clemson football. They have it all there. You can go and check it out and watch that. They're open 7 days a week. Again, on Monday nights, they have Monday Night Football as well as Twisted Trivia. So you kind of can do two things at one time. It's a pretty good atmosphere there. So you need to go check that out on Monday nights. They also have live bands throughout the week, especially on Friday nights. So go check that out. They do some karaoke stuff as well. So go check out Tim Cinco and his crew there at Tip It Back Sports Grill, located at 215 Pelham Road in Greenville, South Carolina. They've been a big sponsors of us, and we appreciate them. And then also, again, our sponsors over at betonline.ag. As you know, football now is in full swing. We're halfway through the college football season. We're right in the middle of the NFL season as well. So BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info with all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchups and breakdowns. So get the latest odds, spreads, and totals from the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on statistics, news, and odds. From week 1 all the way to college football playoff through the Super Bowl, BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. So head on over to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV. Again, that's BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Again, that code is BLEAV, and you'll receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. So thanks to all our sponsors. We appreciate it. Again, if you're just joining us, Levon Kirkland will be along here shortly as we're going to talk all things Clemson football. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get you started with some news and notes and things of that nature as we move along here. As you know, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney earned his 165th career win to tie College Football Hall of Famer Frank Howard as the winningest head coach in Clemson history. Frank Howard did that from 1940 to 1969, where he got his 165 wins. Swinney is now 165-41 in his 15-plus years as Clemson's head coach. Swinney is also set the all-time record at Clemson now for ACC wins. He's got 101 ACC regular season wins, I should say. He passed Coach Howard, who had 100 conference wins in the SEC and the ACC, and the Southern Conference. So Coach Swinney, as you remember last year, passed Coach Howard, or tied Coach Howard, I should say, with the most conference championships in Clemson football history. Swinney now has 8, and he tied Frank Howard, who also has 8. Frank Howard won 6 ACC championships back in the day from 1953 to 1969. And then he also had 2 Southern Conference championships added to his total as well that he did from 1940 to 1952. So Coach Swinney, like I said, he's been 15-plus years, and he's already tied Coach Howard for the most wins. It's kind of amazing to think about that when you put that in perspective of what he's been able to accomplish, here at Clemson in just a short amount of time. Coach Howard's here 30 years now. Granted, Coach Howard didn't have the luxuries that Dabo has in the sense of Coach Howard only averaged 3 home games a year in his 30 years as a head coach. Think about that. 3 home games a year is all he got to play at Memorial Stadium on the average. So he went and played a lot of road games as he built the program. So that's why when Dabo said last week when he passed Coach Howard, he says that it was more like Coach Howard was the guy. He's the legend. I'm just kind of getting into following his footsteps because Coach Howard is Clemson football. Coach Howard is Clemson. He built the football program at Clemson. And he, like I said, back in the day, Clemson had to go on the road to play the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs and Auburns and the Floridas, and they did that. If you go back and look at the old schedules, Clemson would play all those teams every year, those SEC teams, and then they would come in and play their ACC schedule and would generally dominate the ACC, sort of like they do now. Dabo kind of acknowledged that Coach Howard built this program. You think about it, there were only 9 bowl games in 1959 when Coach Howard took Clemson to his last bowl game, which is the 1959 Blue Bonnet Bowl. That was it, 9 bowl games, period. Now, right now, I think there's 60 bowl games or something like crazy number like that. And I might be exaggerating it, but there's a whole lot more than what there was back then. And Coach Howard took Clemson to 2 Orange Bowls. He took him to a Sugar Bowl. He took him to 2 Gator Bowls. He and a Blue Bonnet Bowl. So pretty impressive stuff considering there wasn't that many bowl games back then. And he always had Clemson sitting in the national limelight. And so it was pretty cool. Dabo Swinney also told the story, if y'all guys don't know it, where he said he met Coach Howard when he was 11 years old at his mom's 40th birthday party. And Coach Howard, who was a friend of the mayor of Pelham, and they would come, and Coach Howard would come and hang with Mr. Hayes. I believe that was his name, and they were good friends. And so he was going to the party, and Coach Howard went to the party because he knew Dabo's mom and dad, and he came to the party, and that's how Dabo met him. So pretty cool stuff that Dabo Swinney, said that he was kind of meant to come to Clemson because he met Coach Howard when he was young, and that, really that was the only big-time football coach he ever met, when he was a young man and boy, and, he's it was pretty cool to him. And, he says it's almost like he was meant to come to Clemson because how his career has transpired. And his first win was on the same day as Coach Howard's last win. So November 1st, in 2008, Dabo beat Boston College, and that was his first win. Well, Coach Howard's was against Maryland in 1969 on November 1st, 1969, which, by the way, was just a few days before Dabo Swinney was born. So it's kind of crazy how, that was right around the same time. Or, I believe Dabo said it was Coach Howard's last game as the head coach was the 2 days before he was born. So kind of crazy how that works, and how things come back around like that. And Dabo says that was no coincidence. So crazy how all that happens. But Coach Sweeney, says, he's tickled about it. He's thrilled. And he's excited to see where Clemson can go from here, and they still think there's a lot more they can do. They're not done yet, and maybe he's got another 165 more wins to go. So we'll see if that's the case. But it's been fun. I tell you what, I've been here through the whole process, and it's been interesting to watch it. From from the very beginning in 2008 to watch the program. I actually went back and watched the press conference last night, his original press conference, and it was cool to see, the questions and how he's talked about building the program, and everything he said in that press conference has come true to this point. So real interesting stuff, man. If you haven't, go back and try to look at it. You can Google it. Dabo Swinney's first press conference. It was his introductory press conference, not the press conference where he replaced Coach Bowden, but his introductory press conference. So, go check that out, because all the stuff Dabo said in that press conference is interesting, how the majority of it has already come true. And that's what is so crazy about all that, and I remember it. And the reason I was going down that line is because, and I want to go ahead and give it some memory here to my good friend Eric Boynton. He was a beat writer for Clemson for almost the entire time that I've been doing this, up until a couple of years ago. Eric been going through some tough things, and his health declined, and he passed away last Friday. So my thoughts and prayers go out to his sisters and his nieces and nephews as they deal with this tough thing right now. And I appreciate you guys if y'all would also do the same thing and say a prayer for Eric and his family as they go through this. But that's why I started going through I was looking for stuff with Eric, and then I saw this video of Dabo, and I just sat and watched. It's about 35 minutes. So if you get a chance, go check it out. And Eric was in there. He's the guy who asked the question to Dabo that you see Clemson always replay on the day Dabo Swinney was named the permanent head coach, which is December 1st, 2008. So on that anniversary, Clemson always runs it with the question. Eric asked the question, do you think Clemson made a right choice in gambling with you, a guy who'd never been an offensive coordinator or anything like that? And Dabo, you see the clip where Dabo says, do you know? He's like, because do you think Clemson took a chance? And he's like, no, they didn't take a chance. They got the right guy. So Eric's that guy. He was the guy who asked that question. And so he'll always live on for that. And, it was just cool to see Eric again ask that question and to relive it again. And again, like I said, my thoughts and prayers go out to Eric and his family. He's going to be missed. He was a great friend of mine, a great friend of everybody's on the Clemson beat, and we're going to miss him. And now Levon Kirkland coming in. I'm going to go ahead and pull him up, and there he is. Levon, how you doing, man?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much. I'm just getting back from Myrtle Beach. I went to a Wayne Buckingham pretty much promotion to help the Chanticleers out of Coastal Carolina, Cliff Ellis, who used to be a basketball coach with the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
So went down there and saw my man Dale Davis. Also saw Lynch, George Lynch from North Carolina. Grayson Marshall was also there. So we had a really good time. Also, Sapp was there too. So it was good. It really was. So had a great time, man. I was rushing to get here.
Yeah, well, that's why I told you don't rush, man. I'll just get it started, and you can just jump on in when you get here. And so, don't do anything rush wise. I don't look nothing more important than your safety. So I don't want anybody ever rushing to get to a podcast or anything.
Well,
so
that's what as I was passing cars, that's what I was thinking. Move out the way. Move out the way. So, but hey, I thank you for being such a great partner, and thank you for including me in today. I appreciate it.
Well, man, it's your show. It says Clemson football with Levon Kirkland, not Will Vandervort.
It does say that, but I tend to want to partner with people and give them, make sure that they have the right authority. And I'm glad we're on the show, man. I really missed you last week, and I'm really sorry about what happened as far as your dog is concerned. I mean, that was really sad.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
when you came in, I don't know if you heard also my friend, good friend of ours on the Clemson beat, Eric Boynton, passed away on Friday. And he
Oh,
was,
man, really?
yeah, it was unexpected. And, so our thoughts go out to him and his family. That was a tough time. And so, yes, I was going through that. And Eric was the guy, Levon, if you remember when Dabo got hired, and I was explaining this on the show, he was the guy when they asked the question, you see Clemson play it every year, the clip, and he says, do you think Clemson took a chance on you because you've never been a coordinator? And then you just see Dabo with the one answer, and Dabo leans in and says, no. And so, and then Clemson shows them winning the national championship and all that. And so every time we would always send that to Eric every year we saw it. It came up. It's like, we troll Eric on it, because it was hilarious how he's the guy who asked the question. And, so he's going to be missed, man. He was such a great, great personality and just a great person. And, he always made you laugh and everything, dude. He's going to be missed, sorely missed. And our thoughts, like I said, goes out to him and his family.
You journalists are mean.
We are, aren't we?
You guys are devious and mean sometimes, I must say. I mean, people think that athletes can be that way, but you guys are.
Well, I always say there isn't that much of a line between sports writers and the athletes and coaches. I always say that. And generally, most coaches and players, as they get to know us, they understand that. Like, we think a lot alike. Mm-hmm. And so, so there's no truer statement. Yeah. So that's why we're like players and coaches, right?
Statement. Yes. I guess that's why you get along pretty well.
Absolutely. I think so. I think that's part of it, and I think it's part of understanding, I got a good understanding for what you guys do and how much work you put into the game. And it's just not you guys just go out there and play, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think when you have that level of respect of what the coaches and players put in, the time and energy they put in, then you understand it is a job for you guys. It's not as much fun as it is for us to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a job for you guys, just like it's a job for us to provide the information to all the readers and fans out there. So it all plays together, right? I mean,
yes.
You got paid for playing, and I got paid for writing about it. So,
it definitely works out for us because we got paid.
We get paid, exactly. And so, Levon, I was telling them stuff we're going to have on today. We're going to have obviously we're going to review the Wake Forest game. We're going to look at making the grades for the first half of the season. We're going to take their questions. So again, people, if you have some questions you'd like to ask Levon or myself, please provide them in the comments, and we'll take a look at those, and we'll get those answers to you at the end of the show. We'll also be going through our pick six, Levon. I got 6 games. If you scroll down there, Levon, you could see it if you want to scroll down and see the game, so you can get yourself a better idea of what we're going to do. But they're involving 6. Couple of the games, I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the games have ranked on ranked teams, and then 2 other games involve ranked teams. So all 6 games involving ranked teams this week. So the Tigers aren't playing, but there's some pretty good college football games on. So we're going to have some fun on. And I hope this is the week that the upsets happen. You always have that one week of the year where those teams that you think have no chance of winning the game come down there and they go on the road and they beat somebody, or they're at home and they beat somebody. And I think one of our pick sixes, that's going to happen. I got one of them.
Well, at least that's how they do it in the movies.
It's true.
At least that's how they do it in the movies. So maybe we can get some movie magic and we can get some upsets.
Yeah, hope so. Because what we don't want is the Tigers to get upset anymore. So we're tired of that.
No, we had enough of the Tigers being upset. So.
Exactly. So we're going to move along. Though we will say, I gotta say this before we go any further. Speaking of upsets, there was no bigger upset than what happened at Heinz Field on Sunday afternoon.
It's a short field now. It's not Heinz Field.
Well, Acrisure, whatever stadium. It's Heinz Field, Levon. Come on, it's Heinz Field. We know it.
Our Three Rivers, yeah.
Our Three Rivers was yours. So the Steelers beating the Ravens. I don't know how. It was a crazy game, crazy fourth quarter, but we got the win, man. I loved it.
Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson has really not had a great record against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He hasn't.
As good as he's done throughout his career, his record against Pittsburgh is like maybe I want to say like 1-6 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not really good.
It's not good. It's not good at all. And I'm
And
glad.
Oh man, we're both happy about that. But I just really thought, I was like, man, this is going to be a tough one. At the beginning of the game, it's like, wow, they may beat us 28-0.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was going that way. That defense really kind of stood up. They did some good things. And they got to change something that was the offense.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is a little too predictable. And that's not good in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I think what you have to remember, I think this happens in football in general. I think as a coach, you can't so much say, I'm going to rely on this play, the scheme of it. I think you have to say, who's my best guy and how can I get him the ball?
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about 3rd and 1, you're talking about 3rd and 5, talking about 3rd and 10, you got to look at it as not so much the play we run, the player, and how do we get him the ball in this certain situation.
Yep.
And I think that's what Pittsburgh's kind of suffering through right now. We're running a play, and the other team pretty much knows like what we're doing, what the Steelers are doing, and they're stuffing it cold. It's ridiculous.
Listen, that's a great segue to this because, as you see on the screen,
Yes.
you're talking about an offense that is struggling, and it's watching the Steelers on Sunday is like watching a replay of what I just watched on Saturday with Clemson. Great defense, dominating defense, causes turnovers, keeps the offense in the game, and then an offense that continuously just shoots itself in the foot.
Yeah,
it's like a replay on Sundays for what we see on Saturdays sometimes. And let's be honest, when we look back at this Wake Forest game, Clemson won 17-12. So, hey, first of all, enjoy the win.
Enjoy the win, yes.
Enjoy the win. A win is a win. I don't care if it's
a win, yes.
It's by 5 points or 35 points. It's a win. You need to enjoy and appreciate it because remember, guys, you lost to Duke. Okay, to start the season, you lost to Duke. You played like you did against Wake Forest, but you lost the game. This time you played that way, but you found a way to win the game. So be thankful that you found a way to win it. Now, yes, there's some they had took a step back on offense. We saw 3 straight games where they looked really good and they got better each week. And you're like, okay, maybe they're getting things clicking. They're going now, Levon. And then, I was watching the game earlier today and it's like, my gosh, man, it's like, I don't know. I couldn't explain it. Like, there's one play where Tyler Brown's running wide open across the middle. And if Klubnik hits him, it's probably a 80-yard touchdown, Yeah. Instead, he throws the ball 15 feet in front of him. And how do you miss Tyler Brown, who's that fast, is beyond me. So, Klubnik just didn't have it. Will Shipley for the first half didn't have it. The offensive line didn't have it for the first half. The wide receivers, Tyler Brown dropped 2 passes, had a muff punt. Everybody in that offense just seemed to be just playing through the motions, it seemed like. Like they really took a step back, don't you think?
Yeah, it really seemed that way. It seemed like those guys spend a little bit too much time with the homecoming festivities that we just couldn't get it right. It was something to see, especially our young guy, Tyler Brown, who's been playing so well. And it seemed like he was the guy you can really depend on. And he muffed the punt, which I can understand because the sun was kind of in his eyes. And in that case, just get out of the way. Really, if you can't see it coming out, just get out of the way. It's a hard enough job anyway to be a punt returner, to catch the ball. It's a tough job. And then we're still having trouble with the quarterback running back exchange.
Yeah.
Which it seems like it's so basic, but I guess with the RPO, sometimes it can be difficult too because you're thinking, am I going to give this or am I going to take it away? And I think sometimes we get lost in the transition as far as when we do it. The communication is not there. So we're doing some things that is like, wow. I mean, we keep doing it. And then also we're like, sometimes we're pass out to the flats. I mean, God knows 100 times yesterday, the other day. And it's, they're playing, they're kind of sitting back in the zone a little bit because I think for them, they didn't want to give up the big play. So when you throw it short like that, they see it in a zone concept and they're just coming up and making the tackle. It's easy for them. And a lot of times that little swing pass to the wide receiver, that all depends on the blocking of the wide receivers. If the wide receiver doesn't get the block, I mean, it could be disastrous. And I think we're being a little bit too predictable on offense to really make any progress. We have to drive the ball damn near 15 play drives. And usually on offense, if you have to drive it that long, something bad normally is going to happen. There's going to be a fumble, interception. There's going to be a penalty or something. We don't have the capability at this point in time to run maybe one or two plays that are huge plays that get you in that red zone. And we're just struggling as far as offense is concerned. We really are.
Levon, if there, guess how many plays of 20 yards or more, throws of 20 yards or more Clemson had the other day?
Did we have any?
Exactly. None. Zero. See, you saw Syracuse where you saw some explosive plays and you saw throws downfield. And then you come back this week. Now, granted, I know Wake Forest was playing things different. They were playing two safety high. They were keeping everything in front of them. They weren't letting anybody get behind them. I understand some of it was the scheme, but you still, in my opinion, you gotta force whether you complete the pass or not. You gotta attempt it.
Yeah, you gotta test it.
Think about it. You know,
it's like that movie, The Assassins, when Sylvester Stallone was the cab driver, and Banderas was in the back, and he said, "Don't try anything. This window's bulletproof." Guess what he did? He shot at the window anyway. and Stallone looked back at him. He said, "Hey, I gotta try it. I gotta at least see."
Right.
And what your statement was is correct. You gotta test people. I don't care if they're too high or whatever like that. You know what? They may slip or fall. Anything can happen. Test them every once in a while. Now they understand that, well, maybe we can't just stay back here, or maybe we can't just play it safe because they're trying to beat us. And you get them off their game. But when you kind of play into it, that's what kind of happens. We just kind of played into it. We were being so conservative and so safe that we don't really even attempt to make plays downfield.
Yeah, and that was part of the frustration. I know fans were frustrated with the offensive line in the first half. I give leeway to the offensive line because they were playing, they're playing a true freshman for most of the game in Sewell, Harris Sewell, the true freshman, and he's from Texas, and actually he's from Odessa, Texas, which that's the school where Friday Night Lights and all that's from. And, yeah. He played there, and so he last week he talked about that. But he's a true freshman. He's gonna have mistakes. He's gonna make mistakes. I don't know if people realize losing Walker Parks for the entire year is a big deal. You lost probably the best offensive lineman on that entire line, and he lost him at right guard. You're replacing him. Mitchell Mays just not getting it done, and so they had to go to the true freshman. He burned his red shirt, so the plan was to redshirt him. That's what they wanted to do, but they have to get somebody out there, so they went with him. You saw them have Colin Sadler out there also at times, and in the second half, you saw those guys out there. When you did, you saw them run the football with a lot of success. So maybe they found something in that second half of what line they could use. We'll see. They're going to go now a whole bye week to see if they can do. Maybe there's something there and they can find some continuity within that offensive line now with Sewell and them. But the first half was crazy because they ran for 40 yards. 40. That's it. 40.
Especially when you got guys like Mafia and Shipley, you would think,
you would run better than that.
We will run better than that, but that's not really. It wasn't really the case. I think Shipley only had like 4 carries.
Well, both of them had 4 carries, and Shipley had 11 yards rushing, and Mafia had like 11, and then the rest was Klubnik, right? So they made a concerted effort in the second half that, hey, number 1, you're getting the ball. And, number 7, you're getting the ball. And you saw those 2 guys take over. Shipley ran for 97 yards. They ended up finishing with 207 yards rushing, which means they had 167 yards rushing in the second half. So Clemson did a lot. The offensive line, I thought, got better as the game went along, and they started wearing down that Wake Forest defensive front like I thought they could do. Really surprised they struggled early, but they really took over in the second half, and that's why they won the game. There's no doubt. Right. However, you got to figure a way where you don't do that in just one half. You got to show consistency for all 4 quarters, where you can run the football like that all 4 quarters. And when you can run the football, as you know, Levon, the football, that opens up everything else.
Yeah. And sometimes you can play it where, maybe you pass and to open up and run a little bit, kind of get the defense on their heels. But, man, we struggle. I don't know how much it was Wake Forest of us. We really struggle. We could not sustain a drive to save our lives. And that's not good. I mean, 17-12, that's kind of like 1989 football there. Back in the day football. And that's not what the people want. And, it's not what we really expect here at Clemson University. So we have to get better as far as getting the ball downfield. And also we got to get better as far as getting the ball downfield quickly, making some big plays. We're just not doing that. We're not taking a whole lot of chances. We're being conservative, and it shows on the field. And I think Cave is not a bad quarterback at all. I think he's decent. I really do. I think we got some weapons, but we're just not getting that ball downfield, and that's a cause for concern. Because that's what I think Wake Forest is saying, like, that's the blueprint. We're going to dare them to, we're going to make sure that we can stop the run, even though cover 2 is not always great against the run. But we're going to make them drive the ball. We're going to make them drive the ball all the way down the field because these guys will fumble. They will do something that will turn the ball over. They drive the ball. They do some good things. That's why you're hopeful. And then they either miss the field goal or they fumble the ball or, it's a fumble sack, touchdown. It's something. We're not really gelling that well, and it's costing us some games, and it's costing us points. Yeah.
No, you hit the nail on the head there, Levon. I think when you look at this offense, I think what Wake Forest is like, let's make Clemson make mistakes because they've been prone to do it all year. So until Clemson shows teams that they can consistently not make mistakes, then they're going to treat it that way. They're going to do exactly what Wake Forest, I think, did to say, because they know now Clemson can throw the ball because they saw that against Syracuse. They saw it against Florida State, teams that went man on them. Clemson made them pay for it. So now Wake Forest said, okay, we'll go zone. We'll give up the run, but we'll make sure we don't let them bust off a big run if we can.
Yeah.
And we'll give up the run, and we'll see if they can patiently drive the ball down the field without turning it over. Now, the good news is the offense only had 1 turnover, but it was a big one. It was inside the 9-yard line. So that was on their second drive of the game, and they fumbled at their own 9. Luckily, the defense, and we'll get into that in a second, defense had a goal line stand, and that kind of set the stage for the whole day. But, the offense did, when they did get opportunities to score, they went 3 for 3. And I give them credit for that. They had the touchdown with Cade Klubnik in the second quarter with the touchdown run, and then you had Will Shipley with the touchdown run in the fourth quarter, and they kicked a field goal in between. So they did some good things, right, Levon? They did some good things, and they went 3 for 3 in their red zone opportunities. You like to see that be 3 touchdowns, but
Right.
That wasn't the case on this one. And, we'll see what they do going forward. But at least from that standpoint, when they did get scoring opportunities, they took advantage of them and scored. And they only had 1 turnover on the offense. The other was a muff punt that's on Tyler Brown. He's got to do a better job taking care of that football. That's twice this year now. He's lost the ball on a muff punt. He's fumbled 3 times on punts. So he's got to do a better job. I don't know if we him again. They may just go with Hamp Green in there every time and just say, well, Hamp, go in there. We're not going to have any we're not going to have any punt returns, but we'll at least make sure we don't give the other team the ball, right? So that's going to be a big deal. So we'll see what happens there, going forward. But let's flip over and talk about what the defense did.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I thought another great game that Wes Goodwin called. I thought another great performance by the Clemson defense that is pretty much, with the exception of that fourth quarter of the Duke game, they've played well all season long. They really have, and they've given the Tigers a chance to win every single game. And so, again, this defense, as the year goes along, they continue to get better and better, and they're playing like one of the best defenses in Clemson history right now.
I think the defense is playing very well. I look back at that Duke game, and you have to understand, if you're out there as long as they are, you're stopping them. It gets frustrating sometimes, and sometimes players they go amok. But of late, they have really been playing well together, and also, especially what Wake Forest did to them last year, I thought the DBs really did a good job of staying focused, going after a ball, being aggressive. And that's without probably your best player in Wiggins. Mm-hmm. So I'm encouraged with that. I really believe that our linebackers are probably the best athletic linebackers we had in quite some time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And these guys, Carter can just make plays in space. And Jeremiah Trotter can do the same thing. Parker, and the combination of Parker and Xavier on the outside, that Parker, number 12, is coming. And Xavier looked like we thought he would look.
Yes, he does, man. He's everywhere, dude.
Is really coming off the ball. Like I said, if he can get a counter move to his speed rush, he's going to be dangerous. I mean, like, he's going to be where guys going to be like, holy cow, I got to block this guy this week. He's showing you speed. And, he's getting upfield where quarterbacks have to step up. I'm telling you, Xavier, if you're listening to your boy Levon Kirkland, develop a counter move to your speed move, and you will probably end up getting 6 or 7 sacks this year. That's the kind of, and I think our defense is playing very well. The only thing about our defense is sometimes we kind of give up those momentum kind of series that I've been emphasizing this whole year. If we can get rid of that, where we score a touchdown and we can stop them on downs, we'll be much better. But I'm really satisfied where the defense is at this point in time.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shout out. You mentioned the secondary. So you mentioned Nate Wiggins didn't play. Well, Sheridan Jones got a migraine before the game, so he didn't play. So that's 2 starters down. And then in the middle of the first quarter, Jalen Phillips injures his shoulder, and he's out for the rest of the game. So they had 3 starters in the secondary pretty much gone the whole game, not playing. And Wake Forest only threw for 130-something yards. That is unbelievable how those guys held up in the secondary. And Wake tested them. Wake tried to do some things downfield. Now, granted, the linebacker defensive front dominated and really just, got in front of, just disrupted things like they did. 4 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss. They were all up in. First of all, Levon, I need to ask you about this. The 2 roughing the passer penalties on Jeremiah Trotter Jr. They were both ridiculous. I went back and watched both of them. What in the world are we coming to? Are we just going to start putting flags on these guys? I mean, come on. Those two roughing the passer penalties were the two most ridiculous ones I've ever seen. The first one in the first quarter, Trotter jumps in and he makes contact with the helmet, but you can tell, first of all, it was barely touched it, and it wasn't intent at all because it's about intent, right? It's about intent.
Right.
What is the intent? So it's up to the discretion of the referee. The referee could see, if I see it, and everybody in the stadium sees it, and everybody on TV sees it, that it wasn't intent, like there was no viciousness to it, you let that go. You know, I mean, the Clemson just made a big stop. They're going to get the ball back, and you're giving the offense an out, and they get all the momentum. Then in the I guess it was late third quarter, and the Clemson fans let him know because they already made the one back call, and then he just like totally calls roughing the passer when it was a legit, like just he blew the play up and hit the quarterback before the quarterback even threw the ball. How can you call roughing the passer when the football player's got the ball in his hand?
Yeah, I think it was two bad calls, no question about that. I mean, I know it's a tough job being a referee, but you will hope you would have guys that could distinguish between roughing the passer and not roughing the passer. And sometimes those guys don't do a great job of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets you into trouble. But I'd rather for us to play aggressive on defense. Okay, so we get a call. So what? As long as it's not where it's so close to the goal line or whatever like that, sometimes getting a hard penalty or hitting somebody aggressive, I'll take the penalty. But as long as we keep that mindset, they can't call those kind of calls forever.
Mm-mm.
And that's how I look at it. Some people may look at it as devastating. Oh, it cost us a play or it did this. I'd rather for us to be aggressive, get a call every once in a while, but we keep up that mindset. I like the way our defense is playing. They're playing at another level. If we can continue to do that, take it, because that's going to give you a chance to win. Now, the other phases have got to really step up and get it done. Yeah. But we're still not. Our field goal, I mean, it's costing us a little bit with the field goals.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is, because there was one situation where, and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive, but Clemson had to go for 4th and 4 at the 30 because they didn't have a field goal kicker that could kick it.
Right. And that's a momentum change in there. And as far as kickers are concerned, this is how I look at it.
Just rip the goalpost up. That's what Larry David said. He says, rip the goalpost out.
No, man. They have a job, right?
Right.
If you're the starting field goal kicker, your job is to get that ball between the goalposts. Mm-hmm. When we call on you, I don't want to hear about you pulling it or whatever like that. I want to see the ball go through the goalpost. That is your job. Simply put, that's your job. And you're letting down your team by not getting it done. I'm surprised that somebody on the team, one of the players, haven't got down his throat. But I don't think we're that kind of team. I don't think we're the kind of team that somebody's going to call somebody out for not doing his job. I don't care if he's a good kid or not. Kick the field goals, dude. That's all you do in practice. They don't, trust me, I've been in practice. They don't do anything else. But
that's all they do.
That's all they do.
Now, I will say, Robert Gunn, he had a quad injury. Interesting that came out, and I don't understand when a player's struggling why you don't come out with this sooner. But Dabo came out yesterday on his teleconference with us that Robert Gunn had been suffering with a quad injury. He had some swelling. So when they brought Jonathan White's in, they went ahead and sat him as far as kicking field goals. He said he hadn't kicked field goals in practice in 3 weeks. And that was intentional. He just did treatment the whole time, and they got his leg ready where he can kick off because he's such a big weapon in kickoffs where he knocks it out of the end zone. Dabo didn't want to lose that. So, let's make sure he can kick off. And now he's finally getting healthy. So he actually this week is going to start kicking field goals in practice again, trying to get back in the competition there. So We'll see. I knew something that was wrong with Levon because everything he does, including his kickoffs, they're all going left. Everything's going left. Well, that's a clear sign with the right-footed kicker that something's wrong with his leg.
Yeah, he's favoring it. Yeah,
he's favoring it.
Yeah.
And so I was saying that as I was watching, it's like he's missing everything left. And it's bad. He's missing it bad left. It's not like he's barely missing it left. I mean, he's missing it bad left. So what's going on? And then you watch his kickoffs, and they all go left. Every single one of them go to the left corner of the end zone. And that's not intentional. I think it's the same situation.
Oh, well, you got to get healthy then. I mean, if you're not healthy, you're not 100%, or at least I would say 90%, then don't play. I mean, but if you get out there, I expect you to get it done. Plain and simple. Get it done. Get healthy. Do whatever you got to do, but we're going to need those points as the season goes along.
We are. So that's a good transition into making the grades.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to go ahead and grade. I know, Levon, you driving back, so you had some thoughts to give on this and probably thinking some things as you were going through. So we'll start it off. We're going to grade it we're not going to grade the position necessarily and the player or anything because we don't want to you were a former player. You know what it's like. These guys are trying to bust their butt. We don't need to get onto them from that standpoint. But we can grade the overall offense and the defense and special teams. So I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
Give me your thoughts and your grades on the offense, and then what would you like to see them improve on?
Sure thing. I think the offense overall, should I do overall later? I'm going to do overall later.
Okay.
I think offense, if you look at what we are on offense, I don't think we are quite sure what we are on offense. I think we would like to run the ball and be dominant that way and catch people as far as play action and RPOs. So I really believe that our offense our running game is good. You got two good running backs that honestly, I think you should probably play a little bit more than just the two running backs. You got to play some of those other guys to even throw it off, or you got to feature one of our running backs every once in a while. So I think our running game is it's decent. Our passing game is probably a little below average. I think Tyler Brown brings a little bit of excitement to it. I think that Cave is actually getting better. I think he's being a little bit more patient. He's seeing the field a little bit better, which is not very dynamic in the passing game. And that was the problem last year. Just wasn't really dynamic. And everybody was saying DJ. Now I think you think that maybe it wasn't DJ as much. I don't think the scheme fit DJ to what we're doing. I think Cave is going to get better. I really do. But I give our offense a C- as far as overall grade is concerned. Too many turnovers, not enough explosive plays, and you just really never know what you're going to get, and that's disturbing. And if, like, for example, if they're playing cover 2 on you and they're going to play zone all day long, they're going to give you, hey, there are routes called comeback routes. There are routes called dig routes. There are option routes. There are different kind of routes that you can run to beat zone coverage.
You sound like me on a Steelers Sunday.
Yeah. Like there are different routes that it doesn't mean, okay, they can cover 2. Oh, we're doomed. We can't. They're comebacks. They're certain curl routes. Those things are, against zone, they're difficult to defend. Trust me, I've been out there, and I know the game is new. But
you played zone?
I'm gonna tell you something. If you know the pattern read, you can pick off some passes in zone, and I have done that before. But no, I think that our offense is a C- at best.
Yeah,
at best. I think maybe I'm being friendly.
No, I think that's good.
I think that's good. I think if we can solve the fumble issues. And we can get downfield every once in a while to make a big play over 20 yards, I think our offense will be better. Understand that football is a team game.
Right.
And you kind of play off each other. So if our offense can get better, our defense can stay as solid as they have been, we'll be a better team. We'll win some games down the line. Defensive wise.
Oh, no, let me get mine in first.
Okay, you gotta get yours. My bad. I was so excited. I was excited.
You're ready to go, man. You just bringing the heat. Yeah. So I'm with you. I did the same thing. I thought, okay, when I look at this offense, I've seen improvement. I saw improvement from week 2 to week 5, right? And that was good. And you saw them doing things or getting better. They were showing some explosiveness on offense. The wide receivers were making plays downfield. The running game still hasn't got to where I think it needs to be or can be. Little disappointed in that. But again, I look at the offensive line, the injury to Walker Parks, I think is more pronounced than people understand. And I think they're just now getting that solved. So maybe that helps the running game going forward. We'll see. Cade Klubnik, I thought, improved immensely 2, 3, 4, and 5 game. He just got so much better in those 4 weeks and was doing so many good things. And then he slid back last week. He took a step back.
Right.
Now, I understand. Everybody has a bad day. Me and you've had bad days. I mean, it happens. You have a bad day, and that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to chalk that off to a bad day. Like, they were showing so much improvement and consistent improvement that I'm like, okay, they've had a bad day.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I'll give you that. But I'm with you. I think the inconsistency is the thing that keeps sticking me. And the mesh fumble again rears its ugly head again. It's like, okay, you can't be having the same thing that happened in week 1, same thing that happened in week 2, happened in week 6. You've got to eliminate that. I don't know how they can fix this, but it was clearly on Cade. I watched Cade, the replay of it. Cade just held onto the ball too long. He tried to pull out and let Shipley keep it. And when he did, so he's got to make a quicker decision and understand to let his running back do what he's got to do. So we've seen Cade now a couple of times, Florida State game, where he pulled it and should have probably just kept it to Shipley. So to me, the inconsistency is what bothers me, and that's what hurts this offense. And that's why I'm with you. I think a C- is a fair grade. I think that's what I'm going to give them. I think they can improve, but I think Wake Forest showed a little bit of they're going to have to show now going forward after what Wake Forest showed. Some teams are going to play zone on them again, and they're going to have to show they can move the football consistently and not shoot themselves in the foot, which is what they did the other day. When they got in the red zone, they scored. They went 3 for 3. I know somebody asked earlier about the red zone issues. The red zone issues weren't a problem the other day against Wake Forest, guys. It was getting to the red zone. That was the problem. They had a hard time getting there. They only got there 3 times. Got to get better there. Got to be more consistent throughout drives.
I think also, Will, maybe there's some times you take the decision out of Cade's hand. When you're in the red zone and it's 3rd and 1, man, who cares who knows who's getting the ball? Give your ball to your guy. Give it to Shipley. Give it to Mafia. Who cares? I don't care if the whole stadium knows. Guess what? You won't stop us on 3rd and 1 because he's our guy. He's the guy who's going to make that play regardless if it gets blocked very well. But if you give our guys a chance and a little bit of a block, they're going to convert those. Take the decision out of Cade's hand. If that is the problem, take it out of his hand or make it definite. Hey, we're going to run a heavy play action. We're going to roll him out. Now we give him an opportunity to run and pass. Now he can use his athletic ability because the dude can run and the dude can pass. I think sometimes his decision-making is not always the best. And I gotta say, he's a young guy, so you want to give him a little bit of grace. But from now on, if it's 3rd and 1 and we're going to run the ball, just give it to Shipley. Just give it to Mafia. And that's it. Or you play action pass and you roll them out. Well, don't make it that hard.
Well, that's one thing I want to see him get better at, Levon, is short yardage.
Yeah.
Clemson is not good at all in short yardage. And I don't know who you blame that on. Do you blame it on the play calling? Do you blame it on the offensive line? Do you blame it on Shipley? Do you blame it on Maffa? Do you blame it on Cade Klubnik? I don't know who you blame it on, but they got to get better in third and short situations. It's ridiculous that this team consistently cannot pick up 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1, they're punting. I mean, it's just like they're punting.
Yeah, because I think sometimes as coaches, we may try to be a little clever.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't have to be that clever. You don't. I always think, let's put the ball in the guy's hand that we can trust, that we know is going to get us the first down. Plain and simple. Whether you run that all tackle, straight up the middle, whatever the case is, give the ball to your best guy. What I don't like what we do is we kind of throw the ball backwards to go forward.
Right.
When we do that to me, that's ridiculous. I know people have problems with the kind of the wide receiver screen, stuff like that. I think those plays are plays that are just every once in a while. What you can't do is make that one of your main plays, because the defense, these guys are not stupid, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to just oh, here he comes. And they're going to see that before it develops, and they're going to blow it right up.
Yep.
Hey, man, even if you make it a wishbone situation, in Cave's case, don't make it. I don't mind if you just get in the I formation and just run the lead. Just, do that. I'll run the sweep. Mm-hmm. But don't run the sweep with Mafia. The other day, we had him running east to west. I'm like, what are we doing? We're trying to, our big bruiser, instead of him going downhill right now, we're trying to make him go outside. It's not his game. That's not his game at all. So I think we got to get, sometimes maybe we just get really simple and stupid and get the ball to our best guy.
I think that's the best way to do it to me. All right, so let's switch over, to the defense real fast. I think you both are probably going to say the same thing here, but your thoughts on the defense, and then what would you like to see still get better, even though they've been playing pretty darn good?
Oh, I think our defense has improved since that Duke game. I don't really solely put it on them, that Duke game, because they kind of got worn out. Mm-hmm. Basically. And, honestly, that happens to every defense at some point in time. I think that our defense is playing. I think overall, I love what our linebackers can do. Our DBs are really playing. They seem to have more of a chip on their shoulder. They're not playing as scared. They're playing pretty aggressive, and they're going after the ball. Our D line, you got Tyler Davis, man. We got some pretty good D linemen, I think. And Parker is really bringing a lot from that pass rush. And Xavier is finally healthy, so he brings a good bit to the pass rush as well. I think defense, we got some really good athletes. We can make plays. I think the only thing I would love to see us improve is, I don't know how you do this, but I want us to be more, we're not nasty enough on defense. We're not nasty enough. It's like we're a bunch of nice guys. And I understand that everybody can't be alpha male, but we need one or two alpha males in there that forces the issue and really make sure that everybody takes ownership of not only attacking the ball, but attacking offenses and getting the ball back. I wish we were nastier. I don't know if that is a product of today's society or what it is, but if we were nastier, we'll be in the top 5 defense, because people will be intimidated. And that's the thing about defense, is this narrative of scoring more points has made the defense not as intimidating. Intimidation was the thing that used to work so well with defense. If you can hit a guy a little bit after the play, trust me, that quarterback is thinking, I'm going to throw this one quick. Or that one head catch, wide receivers do, that's because they know a safety is not going to come and clean them up anymore. Or a linebacker. I would like to see us be, if we can be a little bit more aggressive, we'll be a good defense. So I give our defense a B. I want to say a B minus.
Okay, you're a little harder than me. I'm more a B plus on defense because, and I agree with Garnett Lee. Excuse me. He said it on YouTube. I Bleav he said that the tackling, or maybe it was, I'm thinking somebody else here. Let me look and see make sure I'm crediting the right person. No, I'm sorry. It was Lyndon Mickens. They said that they think the tackling needs to get better. I agree. I think the tackling has been an issue since the Duke game, and now they've gotten better as the season's gone along. I still like to see that get better. As far as overall, though, I love the way this defensive line and these linebackers get after people. I mean, we saw that in the Wake Forest game where they were just, first of all, Mitchell Griffiths, kudos to you, young man, because I know you were in the ice tub probably 5 times after the game because they were just laying him out the whole game. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Clemson has lit up the quarterback, and Florida State better hope Clemson don't see Clemson again this season, because that quarterback going to get lit up this time. They'll catch him this time because he got lucky, and Jordan Travis got lucky getting away from these guys, because they are right now really, that front seven is really just getting at 2 people. I knew the secondary was going to be good. I said that in the preseason. I thought this was the best secondary Dabo Swinney had, and they haven't disappointed. Nate Wiggins, I think he's a first-round draft pick, in my opinion. I've seen first-round draft pick corners, and Nate looks like a first-round draft pick to me. I like what I've seen out of Jaden Lucas, how better he's gotten with each game, and his confidence is getting better and better, and he also can play physical at times. Sometimes I like to see him. There's been a couple of times, like when he was playing Syracuse, he was that big old running back coming, and he kind of like, what do you call it, Levon?
It's a business decision.
He'd make a business decision. So I like to see him be a little more physical, because when he makes good plays, as we saw in I Bleav it was the Charleston Southern game, where he just stuck the receiver and the ball popped out. And, that's when you play physical, like you're talking about, Levon. That's the kind of stuff happens when you play physical and nasty. So I think the back end's got to get a little more physical. I think they're playing good in coverage, and they're doing those things right. I like to see everybody play like R.J. Mickens. If there's a guy who grades out perfect in every game, I won't say perfect, I will say at least grades out high in every game, it has to be R.J. Mickens, man. The guy's always around the football. He's always making plays. He's physical. He can make those other plays too on the ball, and interceptions and pass deflections. He just plays like an NFL safety plays the game. And that's why I love watching him play. He's my favorite player in that secondary. He doesn't get the respect I think that he deserves on what he does. He is the quarterback back there. And when you watch him play, man, that guy's a baller, dude. He is a baller. If you want to watch somebody play football the right way, watch R.J. Mickens play the entire game and just watch number 9. He is fun to watch.
Yeah, I would like, I like everything you said. I think you're correct with that. The only thing that I think that for us is, our mentality as a defense. I think there's got to be a certain, we can't be talking about set the standards and we're missing tackles. Are we reaching the whole time? Or set the standards and our attitude is not of the highest. Setting the standards mean being the very best you could possibly be all the time. I think that's what he's trying to interpret it to, not only the team, but everybody that plays us, that we're trying to get better every single time. We're not the best game tackling group of all time or getting off the ball. If we can correct those things and we can have a little bit more of a collective nastiness, we'll be ballers. I'm telling you, it'll be hard to drive that ball on Clemson every single time.
Yeah,
and they won't let teams just come back and score. We're just not nasty enough. I think we're athletic. I think we can run around. I think we can play with anybody when we make our mind up to do it. I would just like to see a little bit more nastiness. And maybe people say, well, you can't be that way. I'll be damned if you can.
Yeah, and I know Lyndon Mickens, again, he says the defense is a reflection of the coordinator. Brent was aggressive. Wes has to become more fierce and put the fire on the defense. I agree with part of that, but to say Wes isn't aggressive, I disagree. I mean, have you watched the last 3 weeks? That's all they've been is aggressive. They're blitzing. They're bringing the linebackers up the middle. They were playing cover zero the entire game the other day with Wake Forest. I mean, they're playing cover zero. And so people understand what cover zero means. That means there's no safety on the back end. The safety's covering the tight end. Everybody's got a man. They were playing that a bunch against Wake Forest, almost the whole game. So that's aggressiveness, man. So I agree that Wes can be more fiery. Yes. But as far as calling plays, he's very aggressive.
No, I think you're right. I think he calls aggressive. I just think that I'm saying personality-wise, I would like to see us be more aggressive.
Right.
I would like to see us when we got a guy stopped. I would like to see 5 or 6 guys on that guy and just, dump him. Let them know what time it is. And that's more here than ability.
Yeah.
That's more heart than just the scheme. It's not the scheme that's not aggressive. Sometimes we're not aggressive.
Right. And that's what you saw last year.
Yeah.
I thought last year was a very passive defense at times.
Right.
Now this year they've been better at it. They have been more aggressive, like you said, up here, where it counts. And you've seen that more mental attitude from them. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact I think Trotter's a year older. I think Barrett Carter's a year older. I think you got Xavier Thomas on the field because his all the time Xavier's like, go kill the quarterback. So that's there with him all the time. And I think that kind of goes down the line of that defensive line. Like, he kind of sets the stage. Because listen, Xavier Thomas is a train wreck. Excuse me, let me say that better. Train wrecker. He's wrecking everything back there. If you go watch, almost every time he's out there, he's causing some kind of disruption. It doesn't mean he sacks the quarterback every time, but he's causing the quarterback to have to step up, have to move. He's causing guys on like running backs to have to move a different direction. He is wrecking things up in the back end. And that's where the attitude starts, is with Xavier Thomas. There's no doubt in my mind that's where it started. He's a difference maker. And him not being on the field the last couple of years, you can see how much of a difference that has been for this Clemson defensive line, because they're better with Xavier Thomas than they have been in the last 2 years without him. And he brings that attitude. And so that I think that's where you're seeing it be better. I'm with you. I like to see it a little bit more. I like to see it trickle all the way through the defense. Like you guys, man, that 1990 defense, dude, you guys were nasty at every level. All 3 levels, you guys brought the wood every time. And I know that's what you're talking about. You're talking about that kind of mentality to where you're just saying to the other guy, I'm better than you, and I'm going to show you on every play that I'm better than you.
Forget the scheme. Forget what y'all doing. The guy who in front of me, you're gonna feel it every single time. You're gonna get it. You're gonna lose. I'm here for you to lose, man on man. And I just hope we can get there one day. I don't think we're quite there, but we're very talented. We can run around. We can make plays. It's a B- for me.
Yeah, same here. I'm with you. Looking good, doing everything pretty well. Got room for improvement though, and that's what we want. That's what you want, because we're only halfway through the season. They can get up to that A by the end of the year. All right, Levon, real quick. I think you're going to say the same thing I'm going to do. Special teams. You go first, and I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to be with you on it. Go ahead.
Coach Cowher used to tell us all the time that the offense can have a bad day, the defense can have a bad day. Special teams can never have a bad day.
I agree.
You gotta win on special teams all the time.
That's why I love Bill.
Every game has got to be a win for special teams. And our special teams have not helped us at all. Hasn't. Really has been the detriment of our team. Probably one of the reasons why we lost to Duke, when we had a chance to win against Florida State, that we didn't get it done. So, I mean, I think that our guys probably is an F.
Yeah.
I don't know if you give up F plus. I mean, is it F an F or not?
An F's an F, man. I don't know if it matters.
Yeah. Does it matter if it's an F minus or F plus? I don't think it does. I mean, it's an F.
Yeah.
You're a field goal kicker. I know they're kids and I know they're young. And I don't necessarily like getting on kids. You know me. But I feel like that if you're a field goal kicker, and if it's in your range, you got to make them.
Yeah.
That's got to be your mentality. Now, I'm not saying you got to have the biggest leg. Like we had Potter last year, man. Potter had a big leg. And for the most part, anything with the 50-yard range, he was going to make it.
And he's also the most accurate kicker in Clemson history.
Right. And that's the point. He was very consistent.
Yeah.
That means I'm looking for the same thing with whoever we replace him with. And he's consistent. That when he's in his range, we should be able to put him out there and he should be able to get it done. And that's just not the case. That has to improve.
Yeah.
Because the stakes are so high now in college football. And people are going to see that, man, college football is aggressively kind of being like the NFL without the NFL players. So as a kicker, you can't go in, you can't be missing it right, left consistently like we've been doing. So at this point in time, we don't get a passing grade at all. We're failing at special teams. So they get an F from me.
Yeah, they get an F from me as well. And it's not just the kickers. By the way, the kickers are 4 for 10 in field goals combined this year. So that's bad. You got to get better there. Weiss, I will say this, he's made 3 of his last 4 kicks 30 in, I should say. So there's some consistency there, but you're still 3 for 6. He's 3 for 6 on the season. Got to be better than 50% as a field goal kicker. So got to improve there. There's no doubt. The reason they get an F though isn't just kicking to me. It's also now. First of all, coverage teams have done well. Robert Gunn has knocked the ball into the end zone on every play for the most part. But when he has kicked it short, coverage team has done a good job covering it. Guys don't get long returns. They did that earlier in the season because they wanted to make sure these guys, because sometimes you got to make them cover kicks. So because you could have a windy day someday and you can't control it, you want to make sure guys can cover kicks. And they've done well on that. So they're good there. Punt coverage, been good there. The punter for Clemson has been amazing. Probably having the best year for a punter that Clemson's had in a long time. Everybody's been so mad about the kicking situation that everybody forgets what a great year he's having as a punter. Man, my brain is not working right now. I'm looking at my roster. Aiden Swanson. Seriously, he's like leading the ACC in net punting. Notice I said net punting. That means not just the punt itself, but the actual how many yards are returned on them and everything that goes into it. Net punting, he leads the ACC, so he's doing a great job. But then the main problem, other than kicker, is Clemson can't hold on to a punt. Whether it's Antonio Williams, whether it's Tyler Brown, they're all fumbling the ball, and it's giving the other team short fields. It's cost Clemson in certain situations. It cost Clemson the South Carolina game last year. I mean, I hate to say it, Antonio Williams, but he muffed that. He fumbled that punt, and that Clemson had a chance to win the game there. So Clemson's got to take care of the football on punt returns better. They got to take care of the football, Levon, and they need some kind of explosiveness on kickoff returns as well. Haven't seen that yet. We keep hearing this or that. Will Shipley had a couple last year, and that helps when you can have that. Haven't had any this year. So to me, the punting gets an A. The kick and punt coverage both all get A's, and then you get an F in kicking, you get an F in punt returns, and you get a D in kickoff returns. So overall, you add it up, it's an F. So that's where I'm at.
And don't try to change it into an A, because you can change an F into an A, especially if you got a plus or a minus. Don't change it to a A plus. Yeah, it's just just really, again, I think it's on teams. It's about an attitude as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. It's about an attitude about, if we get an opportunity to return a punt or a kickoff, we're taking it to the house. We're taking it to the house. If we get a chance to make a field goal, we're going to make the winning field goal every single time. All the mechanics as far as offensive line blocking, everything is going to be really sharp, and our kicker is going to kick you through. So I think it's that part of it is an attitude. And Clemson has got to find that attitude that they've had in the past recent years. We're not quite there yet. I don't really know if it's an issue, or are we a bunch of nice guys? I'm not sure. If we are, we need to get rid of those nice guys. We need to. You got to have, on every football team, people may not want to hear this, you got to have some guys who are a little bit on the edge. You got to have a few guys that are on the edge that will go in there and they will do whatever they have to do to get the job done. You can't just have a bunch of nice guys.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, are we a nice guy team?
Well, there's something to that, because you see that sometimes. Levon, now speaking of nice guy things and not so nice, we go to our pick six.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to be nice to you this week, Levon. There's some tough games.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're going to have to just.
That's okay, though.
Say what?
That's okay. I don't mind tough games.
Let's go then. Here we go. Number 8, Oregon at number 7, Washington. Washington -3. Who you got, Levon? Who you got?
Oh, my goodness. I got Washington on this one.
Okay. You got a reason? Is it the offense? What do you like about Washington?
I like the offense. I like the quarterback. If you have a quarterback that can make things happen with his arms and legs, you always got a chance to win the game. I really feel that. I don't know. I forget the young man's name, but I watched him play. He's an excellent player. Yeah, and he can make things happen. So I'm going to go with Washington on this one.
Listen, we watched this guy struggle at Auburn for a long time.
Yeah.
He's now the front runner to win the Heisman Trophy. He's been playing like it. He deserves it. He's a different guy, a different quarterback. He's 24 years old, so he should be better.
Right.
I mean, he might be 23, but he's been there a long time. That's my point. He's been in college football a long time. I'm talking about Bo Nix at Oregon.
Oh yeah.
I like the fact that Oregon can, I think, match Washington's offense. Mm-hmm. I think they can score points with them, and if they get in a shootout, they're going to be fine. What I like about the Oregon Ducks on this is I like Oregon's defense. They're not an elite defense, but they're a top 25 defense.
Okay.
And I think, we saw what they did to Colorado a few weeks ago. Same Colorado team who scored 42 on Southern Cal. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think this Oregon team is a legit college football playoff contender. I think they're going to go prove that in Washington. Give me Oregon straight up to beat Washington on Saturday. So they're going to go to Washington and they're going to take their business.
See, I'm thinking it's at Washington. That's going to be tough.
I know, and their offense is great, but what's not great? Their defense. And I'm on the guy who's got the best defense and has a good offense is always going to win. That's how I always look at it. And that's what I'm looking at here. They got the better defense, I think, and I think they're going to win it.
Okay, well, we'll see. Let's do it.
We'll see.
What's the next one?
All right, so we're not going to go easy on you, Levon. The next one is Texas A&M at number 19, Tennessee. Tennessee is a -3.5 point favorite. They can't wear the black. There's no blackout on this or anything, I don't think. So like they did against South Carolina, by the way. I know you were as happy as I was to watch the result of that game a few weeks ago. So, So what you got?
Ooh, this is a tough one as well. I like what Texas A&M doing. They really played Alabama very tough. I'm going to go with Tennessee on this one.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm doing it is because they're at home. But I think it's going to be a good game, so I'm going to take I'm going to take Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm with you.
3.5 points. Yeah.
I'm with you in this too because Texas A&M's coming off a very heartbreaking loss to Alabama at home. I think they put everything into that game. They knew they had him at home. Brad Johnson, he played tremendous, the quarterback there for A&M. They had a chance to win it, but they didn't. Alabama found a way to win the game. I think that's kind of disappointing for them because now this is a must-win game to keep them in the SEC championship hopes. So do they have a letdown? Do they come in with the attitude that they can beat Tennessee, or do they have a letdown? I think they can play with Tennessee, but I want to know what their emotional thing is because of that, because they're going on the road. If this game was in Texas A&M, I go maybe the other way around.
Sure.
But because they're going on the road and they're playing a Tennessee team that I think maybe found its mojo against South Carolina and then got a week off to relax and get healthy, go ahead and give me Tennessee minus the 3.5 there, or plus the 3.5. And I think they are. Anyway, give me Tennessee the minus 3.5, and I think Tennessee wins this game.
And thank God it's not wearing. And the thing is, they're talking about blackout, but it's not all black. It's like they got that hideous orange stripe on their pants. I don't like their blackout at all.
Now Levon,
they need to trash those uniforms.
Now, Levon, remember earlier I told you there's a game where I think somebody that nobody thinks can win it or has a chance to win the game, it could happen. Here's my game where I think it happens. Number 14, Louisville at Pittsburgh. That is a 6:30 kickoff on the CW network. By the way, here's getting a lot of good reviews on how they're broadcasting the games and all. So if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. Louisville's a 7.5-point favorite this game, Levon. What says you?
I said that people are jumping on the bandwagon a little too fast.
Okay.
I think they are. I maybe Pitt wins this game, but I'm not gonna give Louisville that many points. 7.5 at Pitt.
Yeah, but Pitt's 1-4. They're struggling. By the way, Djokovic moved to tight end. Did you know that?
No,
he moved to tight end. They're gonna have a brand new quarterback in this game and a brand new tight end. Who used to be the quarterback.
Well, because I did not know that information, maybe I would flip it over and say Louisville. And I'm taking the points. Thanks for the information.
You're welcome. Even with that, though, to me, Louisville's got that big win last week. And they beat Notre Dame, and they played tremendous. I mean, they did. I thought Notre Dame was going to go in there and thump them.
Right.
I really did, because I've watched them play against NC State and struggle. I've watched Louisville play against Indiana and struggle. I watched Louisville play against Georgia Tech and struggle. And I'm thinking, if those teams can do that to Louisville, Notre Dame should physically just dominate them.
You would think so, right?
Right. I mean, Louisville's got explosiveness. They got probably the fastest guy in the entire ACC at running back. I mean, they got all those things, but their quarterback isn't that good. He's not. He's a statue back there. So if you can get pressure on him, I would love for Clemson to play him, because I think Clemson would have 17 sacks because the guy is so slow.
Right.
He gets the ball off slow. He's a big statue back there. He's the guy Brent Venables loved to play. Brent Venables loved to play a guy like that, the Louisville quarterback.
So he just blitz his butt all day long.
Blitz his butt the entire game.
Yeah, no question about it.
That's what I thought Notre Dame was going to do. And then I see the score, and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on here? Of course, 5 turnovers led to some of that and all that. I understand that. But I'm going to give Louisville credit. They surprised me. They won the game. Kudos. But Louisville ain't used to this kind of success. Not right off the bat. Not with a brand new coach. What in the world? Louisville's number 14 in the country. Louisville's in first place in the ACC. If you look at the ACC standings right there, see how it says? It's not Florida State in first place. It's not North Carolina in first place. It's not Clemson. It's Louisville. Yeah. And so I think – in Clemson, by the way, I know somebody says up here earlier says there's no chance Clemson has to get to the ACC championship game. Too much of and he's right. It is a tall ladder to climb. However, if Pittsburgh can beat Louisville this week, it opens that window a little bit. Georgia Tech opened that window a little bit for Clemson last week with what Mario Cristobal did when he decided not to take a knee, and it cost them. So we'll see. So my thing here is, I don't know. My gut's telling me Pitt's going to pull off an upset. So I'm not going to say that straight up, because I'm not going to say it straight up. But I will say Pittsburgh covers the 7.5. I think that line's too big. I think Louisville has a oh my gosh, look where we are kind of moment, and they're not used to handling this kind of success.
They're,
They're going on the road.
they're smelling themselves, as the old people would say.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You see that with young men sometimes. They just played an emotional game. They're bound to have a letdown. This is a perfect place to have it. Give me Pittsburgh plus the 7.5 on that one. All right, Levon. This is an interesting game. I don't know where to go with this one. I really don't.
Okay, let's do it.
Number 10, USC at number 21, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 3-point favorite. I don't know what to do with this game, man. It's a 7:30 kickoff on NBC.
I'm just going to go straight up on this one. Notre Dame wins straight up because I think that SC really doesn't have a great defense. And I think Notre Dame can pound them into submission. So I'm going straight up on this one. Notre Dame beats USC.
Yeah, because you're right. Southern Cal doesn't have a defense, but you know what? Notre Dame doesn't have an offense. So I don't know what to do.
and Caleb Williams is probably going to win the Heisman again unless he has like a terrible game.
Right.
So you do have him, and those guys can 7-on-7 on you all day long. But I think Notre Dame can counter that by running the ball, taking time off the clock, being very patient, and taking those 12-play drives and kicking field goals, or taking those 14 drives and making touchdowns. So that's how I see this game going.
Yeah. By the way, do the schedule gods not like Notre Dame? My goodness, they're already 5-2. This is their 8th straight game they've played without a break. So the schedule gods do not like Notre Dame, and I know they make their own schedule. So if you make your own schedule, why in the world are you killing yourself? I mean, I don't understand it for nothing. I mean, 8 straight weeks to start the season. Remember, they started the season in Ireland.
Yes, I know. But you know how those fine girls are sometimes, you know. They don't. Sometimes they get a little arrogant too, and they just make some decisions that are not good decisions. So I chalk it up to that. But I got Notre Dame in this game straight up, though.
Okay. I don't know where to go on this, because if you would have told me like last week, I would have definitely picked Notre Dame because of the defense. But then I saw Louisville lit them up. And so I'm like, okay, if Louisville can lit them up, so can Southern Cal. So can Notre Dame keep up with Southern Cal if it becomes a track meet? I don't think they can. After watching the track meet last week happen, I'm concerned about Notre Dame. I'm going to go Southern Cal. So give me Southern Cal minus 3.5, not straight up, but give me Southern Cal to cover the -3. I mean, with the +3 there.
You know what they're doing to that field at Notre Dame right now?
Well, it's turf. They can't do anything to it.
It's not grass. It's not anything like that.
Remember, they took it off last year. Clemson played on that turf.
That used to be their advantage.
They would make it tough. I know they'd make it tall, but they can't do that anymore.
They'll make it tall, and if you're a fast team, you're not as fast as you used to be. So, well, if that's the case, then yeah. But I'm still going to pick Notre Dame for this.
Now, here's where I'm guaranteeing an upset, just because this is how college football rolls. Number 25, Miami at North Carolina.
That's a possibility.
This is a 7:30 game on ABC. The reason I say this is North Carolina's going to lose is because when Georgia Tech had the miracle in Miami last week, you just knew North Carolina's going to lose this game now, because Miami should not have lost that game. And the way college football works is Miami comes back and does everybody's like, well, Miami lost that game. They're probably just going to get hammered by North Carolina and Drake May, and they got their receiver back and their defense is playing good and all these things. Everybody's talking wonderful about North Carolina. By the way, I want to puke with all that talk. I can't stand the baby blue, hate them. So I hope Miami does go in there and win the game. But I think Miami's going to just for football purposes only. I think Miami's more physical team than North Carolina. I think last week they were looking ahead. It was obvious they were looking ahead. Mario Cristobal, if he can just stay away from critical decisions, like, maybe taking a knee at the end of the game when the other team's got no timeouts. If he could just stay away from critical decisions, allow his coaches to make those calls, then maybe they could go in there and beat the Tar Heels. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, give me Miami straight up to upset North Carolina because this is the way college football works.
I think you might have something there as far as the football gods and how they really react, especially how they react to North Carolina.
By the way, North Carolina's number 12 in the country, by the way. I forgot to put that on.
And that's the point, right?
Yes.
When you think that North Carolina is finally arrived and it's all good for them, what do they normally do?
They mess up.
They usually pee in the bed.
Yeah.
That's what they normally do.
And I still don't trust this defense enough. I don't trust them enough. I mean, a lot of people are talking them up. Look, they beat Syracuse. Syracuse sucks. We saw that. Clemson beat the crap out of Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse is not good at all.
Syracuse is not a good team. So
no. I'm going Miami with the points. I'm going Miami.
Yeah, App State should have beat North Carolina earlier in the season. So, I mean, North Carolina's defense is still not what it needs to be.
Because, man, North Carolina, every single time it happens when we're believing in them and we want to believe in Mac Brown, and it's a great story that ESPN can put in 30 for 30. I just think North Carolina's just going to mess it up some kind of way.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so final one. Number 18, UCLA at number 15, Oregon State. This is we stay up till 7:30 in the morning watching TV.
Not for this game.
I'm just kidding. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So it's UCLA at Oregon State on Fox. Oregon State is a 4-point favorite. The DJ Uiagalelei Beavers.
I'm gonna go with the Beavers just because of DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really watched these two teams at all, but I'm glad that DJ's doing well. I'm happy for the kid. So I may be totally wrong in this assessment, but I'm just going to go with Oregon State.
Yeah, UCLA is coming off a big win at home against Washington State, a game they were underdogs in. They got a freshman quarterback who I think he's going to be really good before it's all said and done. I think Chip Kelly has got this thing going at UCLA, and they're starting to get where they need to be. Oregon State, though, very good on defense, very physical. They don't put DJ in situations where he has to win the game, right? It's not on his shoulders to win the game. Mm-hmm. They got a great running game. They got a great defense. I'm going to go ahead and say Oregon State covers minus the 4.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that they just want DJ to hand the ball off?
Mm-hmm.
And
when I've watched the games, that's pretty much what they do.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
I mean, he's got decent stats, but he's not anything like you go, oh my gosh, about. Now, last week he did throw 4 touchdowns and stuff like that, but they beat Cal. I mean, that's Cal, So, I mean, but when they played the Utahs and Washington States and stuff like that, it's pretty much been they've leaned on that running game. You know what I'm saying?
And then, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's the way you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, well, Levon, that is everything we got there. I know you've been talking to the people back and forth.
Yes, a little bit.
Yes.
We want to thank them for coming on the show, asking
comments.
great questions.
Absolutely.
It's always good to be involved with the fans that are out there. We really appreciate you guys.
We do appreciate every single one of you guys for just being with us and being patient, hanging with us and talking football. We do this every week at 6:15. You can find us again on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, please give us a like and also leave a comment if you haven't already. We appreciate that. If you got us on Twitter and stuff, please do the same thing and just let us know you're there and you saw it. We can't see your comments on Twitter and stuff, so just leave a comment nonetheless, and I'll get back to you that way. But we appreciate you joining us. We'll be back next week as we'll get you ready for Clemson's date to Miami as they go play down at Miami Gardens, and we'll face the Miami Hurricanes down there. So until then, I'm Will Vandervort. That's Levon Kirkland. We'll talk to you next time on Bleav in Clemson Football with Levon Kirkland.